This week, a guy's way out in Lompoc, California, where I bought this really cool 1940 Chevrolet Coupe. Now, I really don't know anything about this car other than it's been off the road for probably around 40-ish years. It's got a big block that currently knocks. That's great. And allegedly, this was the terror of Van Nuys back in the day, street racing. Now, this is the first time I'm actually seeing this car in person. I bought it after seeing a couple photographs that a friend sent me. So let's walk around this thing and see what it's going to take to get back running on the street and maybe even racing in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Smells like a sweaty roller skate full of broccoli and dentures. Musty, with just a hint of fungus. I like it, actually. The interior is great. That's done. Check it off. They look like kind of 70s van-looking seats, like the Winnebagos or something. Was orange at one time. Now a very pleasant, kind of tan, cowhide-ish, deerskin-ish, medium tan brown. Anyway, what do we got? Slide in this puppy. Of course, you gotta have the 3-blade steering wheel. Was chrome. Amperes, oil pressures, and water temps. That's all you need. There's no tack. This guy just shifted by ear, apparently. A whole bunch of lights. We don't know what they do. A bunch of switches. Don't know what they do. It has a key. I believe that's a Ford key, actually. And a fuel gauge thing in the glove box. Oh, speaking of which, we never even saw a fuel cell in the trunk, did we? That's interesting. That's really about it. Oh, here's the shifter. That seems fine. It's a Select-O-Matic 9000. Brakes. Don't worry about that either. So far, no fuel, no battery, no brakes, no shifter. But we have a key. Special Deluxe. Love the chrome and the trim and just the overall shape of these cars. It's beautiful. All right. Okay. There we go. The block of bigs. I finally own gold valve covers. Sweet. Wow, the wiring is very astronautish. I've seen that before in a 70s built drag car I bought, and it was a nightmare. I think the previous owner was an electrician. Looks very much like a fuse panel in a 50s house. Great, wiring's my favorite. Anyway, we've got a 454 in here. It's already got an intake. She's got a Holly on it, double pumper. I mean, it looks like it was probably the real deal. Old Valerie Mark II ignition. Really cool fender exit headers. Kind of wrap around the frame and down under. I don't think this is hooked to anything. Whoa, it is not. Kind of limited on what I can do here. It's got a transcooler. Automagical transmission. It's got the original front end and brake system, which is going to be a nightmare because, as you know from me doing 40s, 50s, 30s cars, is the master cylinder is under the floor on the frame. My favorite. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This is clearly a basket case. I've only got a few days to get this thing going. Hot Rod Ranch is actually right down the road. I'm going to call up those guys, see if we can borrow a truck and trailer, haul this down to their shop. And I've got a friend on the way that's going to try to help me put this thing back together on the street. And I might even call him out for a drag race. Made it to Hot Rod Ranch. They've got tools galore and hot rod parts, so if we get into a pickle, guys should be able to find some around here, maybe do some trading or some bartering. Pretty excited to tear into this. So we've got the coupe pushed back into the Hot Rod Ranch here, and as you can see, it's full of parts and tools. I think we're going to be just fine, but I've only got a few days to get this car back together, so I'm obviously going to need some help, and I needed someone with not only knowledge of hot rod history, but the ability to actually throw some wrenches around, and I somehow roped the one and only Freiberger into helping. Ta-da!
I think this is my fault, isn't it?
This is absolutely your fault. He actually sent me this listing and said, you need this. And I
was right.
Yes. So what do you think of this thing, Freiber?
I love it. I saw it up here before you bought the thing, and it's just perfect. You know, there's no way you could go better. Van Nuys Boulevard, like 1974, 75 kind of era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So we're told, and I've heard a cell phone video of this engine knocking. So that's probably the first thing we've got to address is figuring out what this engine's going to do or not do.
Okay.
So should we try to get this thing just idling?
Running? Yeah, that's usually my rule. Start the thing first, find the problem. Because what if it's like a flex plate bolt?
Right,
or,
something simple.
You know, a rod hitting a oil pump pickup or something like that.
That would be ideal.
It's a big block Chevy. Nothing can stop me. That's my theory.
That's why he's here.
Yep. All right, let's fire it up.
All right. See if we get this hood off, I guess. Ah, there we go.
That was easy. Launch. These headers are art. And the T-handles for the valve covers. Oh, it's got the old Mallory distributor. Let's see. Is it like a Unilite? No, it's a dual point. Epic. Love it. I hope that works.
Old Mark II ignition coil.
Here's the thing with dual point distributors. Remember that the coil saturates when the points are closed. And in the old days, guys would keep them closed as long as they could to get as much spark as they could. And when you have a dual point, what happens is they offset each other just a little bit so that they're closed longer and the coil saturates longer. And also it means that each set of points can open about half as much so you can run to higher RPM. So that's what a dual point's all about. Oh, it's also got a torque strap. See the cable around the frame?
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
So a bad motor mount.
Yeah.
Great.
Uh-huh. Look at the radiator cap. Is this the original radiator? That is tiny for a big block. That's going to be a problem. But look at this. It's like vertical.
That is bizarre.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's upside down.
It's sideways.
Or side. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. It's a radiator from another car that's been put in
Here's
vertically.
the transcooler lines.
Yep, that's it.
So it has been upgraded.
This is like I built it.
Okay, battery install.
And the bolt's missing, so here's your clamp.
Brothers from another mother. Working with the vice grips. Okay. So far, I think we're off to a really good start here. I got a red light in here.
Something clicked.
Headlights? No way.
Yes, headlights work.
Wow. Okay. That must be ignition then.
Okay.
Push button doesn't do anything.
Yes, it does.
That's the key.
Okay. There we go. That's fuel. Make it go boom.
Okay. Questionable switches or flips. Go again. Hey.
That runs.
Oil pressure. £75 of oil pressure. Let's go. So I'm mocking in a temporary fuel system here. We got a clicky-clacky, and we'll just jam that into a drill battery or something. Stab this into some gas. We want to see what this thing does once it warms up a little bit. So we'll put some water in the water heater, maybe even let this thing idle for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and see if we can start troubleshooting the noise that Gil heard. And I've actually heard it over a cell phone video, and it sounded pretty bad. We got to start tracking down if it makes noise and where it's coming from.
Seems good so far. Oh, hear that?
Now I hear it, yeah.
That sounds up top to me.
I just said it almost sounds lifter, doesn't it?
Yeah. We're just going to quickly pop this valve cover and see if we can find a loose rocker arm. Do any of them push down like the lifter is soft? No.
No. The other thing I'm noticing is the thread reveal is similar.
Same. Yeah.
Usually if one has been worn out and someone's trying to quick fix it, they'll run this nut down to take up that difference.
I don't know how to work this key. You got a manual?
Bump it one more, it came back.
That moved.
It's got great oil pressure. That's not it. We're gonna go with the most hopeful theory is we've got a bad flex plate here. Freiberger's gonna crawl underneath. I'm gonna try to turn this thing over by hand. He's gonna inspect the bolts, all the hardware, make sure they're tight. But what can happen is these are kind of a hub-centric design where they slip over the crank there. And there could be a crack from there up to one of the bolts or from bolt to bolt even. And as it's running or rotating, especially under throttle, they'll flex and move and they'll make a knocking or squeaking or clanking or all sorts of weird noises.
There's no witness mark on the ring gear of grindage. You don't see anything, right?
No, it looks, I don't see anything.
No, nothing touching. And
Well, that's a stock-looking converter, isn't it?
it's way stock. That's a 12-incher. If you give me the listener, I'm ready for you to start it with me down here.
Okay. Going straight to level 5 danger.
Certainly in park, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Chested. Okay, cranking.
I don't hear anything. There it is. I can't hear anything in the bottom end.
It almost sounds like a rattling almost.
Yeah.
Is that cable?
That would be ridiculous.
I mean, that's a similar noise.
It is. There's a torque strap, which is just simply a about 3/8 around cable wrapped around the motor mount. That would be
Right.
epic. Yeah. Here,
Because the motor's shaking.
yeah. Here, let me wedge it. That would be amazing. Okay, I'm ready.
I don't hear it.
Neither do I.
There it is.
It's not moving.
I don't hear it anymore.
I don't hear it. Right now, it looks like that torque cable was hitting the frame because I moved it. Now we can't hear the problem.
All I hear is valve train now.
Race car.
Fixed.
Fixed.
Yes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tag team this thing really quick. We're going to drain the water out of this thing, get the carbon intake off. We got to clean up the heads, the china walls here. We're going to put in some room temperature vulcanization cream, do it right. Get these rubber gaskets out, and that's one big leak back here. And then by then, hopefully it's cool enough we could drop the oil on this thing, put a new filter in. I think that O-ring is shot. It's leaking there as well. And then we'll fill it back up with fluids again. And we're going to time it. Timing seems to be a little weird on this right now. And it's going to run perfect. We're reinstalling our vintage Holley Street Dominator intake manifold. This thing is a single plane. I really wanted this engine to have a dual plane on it. Dual planes have longer runners, which make better low-end torque, especially with this, which I'm pretty sure has a stock cam in it. So this isn't the optimum intake manifold, but it's the one we have.
We have one bolt hole with really sketchy threads in it. It's about to strip. And the rule is he who owns it wrecks it. So Derek is working on fixing that thread.
Oh my god. Oh no.
You didn't. He just dropped the washer down the distributor hole. How far down the distributor hole? Did it go all the way?
I think I can see it.
Is it on top of the drive shaft?
I think it actually hooped the pump
The drive shaft? Perfect. We need a magnet.
I did.
You hooped the drive shaft?
Yep.
That is skills. Wow. There's another rule, which is if you're going to drop a washer down inside the engine, you also have to be the car owner. This is like Operation when you were a kid, remember?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely buzzing it.
In the hole, there's actually a drive shaft that spins the oil pump, and he looped the washer over the drive shaft. That's skills. I'm guessing because it's pulling up on one side, it's wedging the washer in.
It's not even pulling the washer because it wants to magnetize the pump shaft and not the washer. Oh, I found it.
Really?
Right there. So it is
right here?
It's number 7. Yep. I'm an idiot. Listen, we were trying to spice things up today, and might have went a little overboard, but okay, I'm gonna not move.
It's not there.
No! Oh, I found it again.
Okay. If you clear, I can get it. I see it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be a victory. Wait. Wait.
Yes!
Oh,
Victory! Thanks, Freiberger.
That was pretty good.
Let's tape the distributor hole closed, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Exciting carburetor action. See, Derek called me before we set out on this venture and was like, this thing needs a carburetor. What should I get? And I said, the Brawler Full Race 850 CFM double pumper. This is like a lower cost line of higher end carburetors, I guess is the way I put it. They're from Holley. There is a basic version that we probably could have used and likely should have, but this one's black with red blocks on it and anodizing and stuff. And so it's gonna run pretty good. The calibration on these is pretty well spot on.
Oh yeah, this is coming out now. Maybe. I have seen some things, but never a radiator sideways. This is how it should be in a vehicle.
Dum, bum, bum.
Well, it's getting late into the evening. I think we're going to call it a day, but we did do some things today, Freiberger.
Things. Yeah.
We've debunked, maybe, some sort of weird knock rattle thing.
Yeah.
Changed the oil.
Pulled the washer out of the valley. That was the highlight of my day. Changed the distributor, got new intake gaskets, new carburetor.
And we heard it run, which is great. We still don't know if it shifts. It definitely doesn't stop, but we'll make that happen soon. So we're gonna go wet our back necks, eat some groceries. We'll see you in the morning. Day 2 here, Freiberger and I are in Lompoc, California at the Hot Rod Ranch, working on the 40 Chevy Coupe. Yesterday, well, we're still daydreaming we fixed a knock, but
yeah,
maybe not. Today, what's the plan, Freiberger?
I think we continue to make the engine run, sort of actually run, like make a fuel system on it, put the radiator back in, hook up the transcooler so it doesn't puke everywhere. We'll cross our fingers that the Turbo 400 works, jack up the back of it, run through the gears, and all of that. If we can make it to the end of the day without touching the brakes, that'd probably be like a nice, happy thing.
We're on the same page. We're procrastinating brakes as much as we possibly can. So, all right, I'll do rad, cooler, lines, and then I guess we'll
do plug wires, throttle linkage, start to mess with the fuel system.
All right. Okay. Linkage here. I am engine nerding a couple brackets, handful of them for the rad. I have to try use the bolt hole provisions in the car, so that may involve actually TIG welding to the radiator. I am a pretty decent MIG welder. I am a terrible TIG welder. So, let's see what happens. Ouch. It's gonna work.
My sort of plan on spark plug wires is I always lay them in there and sort of eyeball it, and then I go back and cut and trim each one and make them fit nice. Also, watch how I do the distributor caps. Look how I've got 4 going off this way and 4 going off that way, and I just have to take a couple of wires and loop them, but it just looks way neater.
We think we're done up front. Freiberger has expertly and precisely ran the spark plug wires. Looks very good. Rad's in, carburetor's in. We need fuel delivery. This has a tank in it and some sort of electric pump, but we're just going to completely abandon all of that. That tank is actually under the back seat in this, and the fill neck is over here. We're going to put a fuel cell back here. We've already propped this up with this chunk of pipe that Freiberger found. We're going to drill a hole because it's a sump cell, so the bottom of the tank actually hangs down lower. We're going to bolt that in, run a fuel line out a rust hole down here, run a line up front, plug it in. We should be able to fire this thing back up. Let it idle for a while and just run.
We've just completed the fuel system as soon as I install this right there with one of the derrick clamps, which is a dislike for me, but I have to admit it is quick. All right, fuel system done. Are we at the point where we can fire it up and let it sit and idle and put it in gear and stuff?
I think so.
I think so.
Add fuel, add some water in the water boiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to immediately dump impurities in your new radiator. All right. Okay, ready?
Yep. Fuel pump works. Let me make that a little happier. I don't hear the death rattle yet.
No. Well, load it up now.
Yeah. That's quite a bit. What he's doing is using up gas in the bowl by hitting the squirter a bunch of times so that we can see if the flow bowl level has been reduced. If you just let it sit and idle, it takes forever for it to seek its new level.
You can hear it revving up a little bit or faster. That's because it's happier with the mixture, and then he'll bring the idle back down once he gets it more dialed there.
Go in a quarter over there.
it gets down.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Whoa, yeah.
But that's the normal way.
Right, go the other way.
Now we need to reverse it.
We're thinking we need an electric fan. It's getting hot idling here in the shop.
Okay, reversing motor. Finger remover.
Yeah.
Take one. Luke,
I am your father.
ah! There's blades in there. Oh no! Go tape that off.
Oh, that one's a bleeder.
I was going to mount this up front, but the more I'm looking at it, I think I might actually put it on the firewall, because one's got to go to switched ignition right below it. One's got to go just right here to the alternator. One's got to go to the temp sender, and then just one will come up here to the fan, and we'll ground the fan up here somewhere backwards, because we're going to spin the motor in reverse so that it pushes instead of pulls. Okay, we've got temp gauge in here. That Freiberger expertly zip tied to the center. We're ready to fire it up again and try the gears once more. All right, clear? Starts great. Yeah. Reverse.
Reverse.
Neutral. Drive.
Yep, you got forward.
The great news is we've got a runner, we've got gears, it's staying cool. The fan hasn't even kicked on, hasn't needed to. Good enough. The bad news is this means we'll probably have to work on brakes now at some point.
But that's an us tomorrow problem.
Yeah. We're at the Hot Rod Ranch still in Lompoc, California, where just a few days ago this Chevy was sitting in a lean-to shed. It's been off the road for, I don't know, decades. We have it running, we have it moving, but we got a problem. We have no brakes, Freiberger.
Yeah, and this is day 3 of avoiding that job. The master cylinder on this thing is under the floorboards, which is just a nightmare. And I didn't realize that the clutch and brake pedal pivot went through the master cylinder, too.
Yeah, which is seized currently, so this is going to be a chore. So I'm going to start poking at this if you want to maybe see what's under the front wheels as far as hardware, if there's even wheel cylinders in there or what. Oh!
Just put that anywhere.
Yeah, that's up.
I got the drum off, and look, this thing has the original ball-bearing wheel bearings in it. It is not a tapered roller. It's old school. Brakes are all here. You know, when you get these old cars that have been sitting around a while, sometimes you'll pull a drum and there'll be no guts in it. But this has stuff.
It's pretty good.
It's unique.
So what I'm going to do is actually fill the master cylinder, which you do through the floor, and just pray that somehow, after 80 years plus, this is going to still move fluid. Yeah, there's juice coming out of it. Want me to hold this while you
Yep.
see what happens? Yeah,
Yep.
pedal moved.
Yepper.
We have the Freiberger luck, apparently.
If it doesn't blow all the cylinders out.
You tight again?
Yep, go. That junk works.
Hey, a different tire and wheel. These already have new tires on them, and essentially I'm just going to borrow these for this week. We're going to get these bolted on, and then we can get back to bleeding the rear brakes. Might look at the rear end, pop the cover off. It's a one-legger right now. Might have to fix that. Okay, go ahead.
Pumping. 1, 2, 3, 4. We already have so much pedal.
Okay, Okay, that concludes our bleeding session.
And pedal for days. Wow.
Nice. That's a big win. So under the rear of the 40 coupe here, going to be addressing the rear end. We know from running it earlier that it's a peg leg, or only one tire gets power at a time. So doing burnouts is going to be not good. So I'm going to take off the differential cover here, get a look at the gears in here. We can hopefully figure out what gear ratio it is. It's probably like a highway gear, like a 308 or something like that. Hopefully not. And then we're going to do what's called a Lincoln locker. I am just going to simply weld up all of the spider gears in here so that when we ramrod this thing, both tires are going to be getting power at the same time. And it should help our launches if we're going to be doing any sort of drag racing or doing burnouts and stuff. Bam! Poor man's posse, thanks to Lincoln.
Derek's in the back making a soccer ball of weld out of the rear end as he suffers from the impression that this thing will have the power to spin both tires. Meanwhile, I've been assigned to install the shifter, which is incongruously billet for this car, and also has a rear cable entry, which is going to make this a little bit of a challenge. But we're going to hideously mount this right here and reach for it as we shift. And then I'll run the cable through the floor and attach the end of that cable to the transmission, and we will have shifting for the Turbo 400 that likely doesn't work. We haven't found that out yet. First, second, third, neutral, reverse, park.
Okay. I just had to keep these wheels. You know, we were kind of fighting the same thing in the front, but I couldn't get a wide enough tire to go on this 10-inch wide wheel. And Freiberger was kind enough to loan me his ET drags off the General Mayhem. We got them mounted on that same wheel, of course. Just going to throw it up here and look for fitment. This has been pretty gnarled up and stuff like that. These are slightly bigger than the tires that were on here. So I just want to see what this is going to say. And so far it is saying not going to fit. Yeah, that's an issue. After a little bit of wrenching, this car is ready to hit the road after sitting off of it for decades. I think we can actually maybe find a beach or the ocean from here. Let's go see what we can find.
It's moving!
Oh, it pulls so hard.
Yeah, that's brake adjustment, I believe. Pretty amazing.
Second gear.
Yep. You want to try the brakes? Wow!
It's livable.
We can adjust that brake if we were ambitious.
Nothing smoking or on fire?
That's true. And the rat smell is not excessive, not overheating. It's 140. Even the headlights work on this thing. I'm actually jealous now.
After many years off the road, it's back.
so good.
This thing is staying cool. It's shifting. I mean,
Braking.
there's a lot of things I like about this car that actually don't make sense. For example, we came here fully expecting to rebuild this engine.
Totally.
I still can't believe it was just a cable. Or if it is knocking, we can't hear it.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, it's great.
Ignorance is bliss.
We got open headers. That fixes everything. We just threw a new carb on this. Radiator, cooling fan. Not much. Welded up the rear.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do a lot.
Yeah, low effort, big win. The thing really drives nice.
And we really can't do anything to the exterior. This is about perfection at this point. So it's going to stay looking just like this. But now that we know it's street drives, should we see if it could have potentially raced back in the day? Do it again?
Do it again? I knew
Yes.
this was coming. I'm thinking my 56 Chevy is the unit.
Okay, they would look rad together
It would
for
look
sure.
really good.
Nice.
So I'm thinking we can put together maybe a 500-foot drag race. It's not going to be full on, but
That's probably all this has in it.
Yep.
We'll just line them up. Can you drive us there? I don't know how to get there.
oh yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
sweet. All right, we're going to go race the 56 Chevy, the field car, versus the 40 Coupe. See what happens. We're here at Santa Maria Airport in the back 40, where we've got some room to play around and race. What do you got here, Freiberger?
Well, this is the 56 Chevy known as the field car. It's been on both Roadkill and Roadkill Garage. Right now, it's loaded with a 406 small block, makes 570 horsepower. It'll run to 7,000 RPM. American powertrain 6-speed and a Ford 9-inch with, I think it's got 456s in it. So I'm ready to break parts.
So you're saying there's a chance I can win? No.
You know there is, because I'm going to annihilate the tires on this unprepped surface. And we know this thing hooks up because it's gutless. So you'll be in the wind and I'll be back here making smoke.
Oh, that's my only hope. We'll see what happens. If we got just enough room, I might be able to hit second gear. It's going to be great. Well, let's line them up. We'll just do a heads up, see what happens, and maybe you'll let me take a hit or something after that.
Oh,
after
for
you
sure.
destroy me.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay, cool.
Good luck. You're going to need it. This is more like street racing back in the day than drag racing.
Yeah, traction killed me.
Oh, wow. You blow the tires off? Yeah. Ah, you got me. Ooh, I smell brakes.
I spun the tires really hard, but then drove past them at the top end. That was so cool. That was a riot. That was also 7,500 RPM of tire spin. Wow, that was cool. He also treed me pretty bad.
wins in the field car. Oh, that's awesome. Yes! Oh, it was so good. Freiberger, you annihilated me. That was brutal.
You know, I was thinking about it, and I did. The thing is, both of these cars are wicked cool. Mine just has a lot of more destruction potential.
Right. There's a lot of violence going on there. It was fun, though. I got you one time when you blew the tires off.
Yeah, completely. But that drag race where I spun the tires hard and came past you, that was just like so two-lane blacktop, so American graffiti. I loved it.
It was incredible. I was screaming the whole way. My face hurts from smiling. You know, it lost the race, but just a few days ago, I was sitting in a shed. It's been off the road for years. We got so lucky on this car, the engine not actually being blown up. We didn't really have to do that much.
No, it was easy. I had a great time, and we've benched Race a lot about how we can make his car more violent.
Yeah, I think so. Well, thanks for all the help this week. It's been incredible. And that's going to do it for this episode of Roadworthy Rescues, but stay tuned. There's plenty more to save. Let's go cruise these things, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Resurrect the GTO.
That's it?
Yep. Not good enough?
Pretty good. I don't think Freiberger wrote that one, though. This week, we're back at Zweifel Motors in Piedmont, South Dakota, where I have stashed away a real gem of a car. Let's go check it out. A little heavy on the foot. I don't understand what happened here. Have to revisit that. Check it out. A 1970 Pontiac GTO. We believe it's a real GTO. Also the cheapest one I could find in the US of A. I don't know anything about this car other than it's been off the road for a decade or two. This is actually the first time I'm seeing it. I bought it sight unseen on Indianapolis and had it delivered right here. So let's walk around this thing, see what it's going to take to get this running, driving, back on the road, and then we can do burnouts and Black Hills. Sounds pretty good. Let's try to start in the trunk, maybe. Okay, let's go. So I'm noticing this kind of seafoam green color. The paint code is 2828 poly blue that I'm not seeing. It's definitely not the Ridge color. But it's a beautiful blue with kind of a silver sparkle in it. Definitely not an original color here either. There we go. Ooh, broke the seal. Lots of water in the deck lid. That's what you want. Oh, we got an amplifier. She had the boom booms, you know, Dr. Dre style. I could probably sell that amp. Maybe get some sparkulators or something. Oh, wow. She is really rusty. Trunk's gone. Goes up into there. We're just going to pretend we didn't see that, though. Okay? Let's jump inside, see what we got going on in there. Yep. Yeah. is thick. It's like a baseball mitt full of wet Band-Aids. It's pungent. It's incubating in my lungs. As we speak, there's mold everywhere. The seats, the door panels, the carpets are fuzzy over here. That's fine. The most important thing is we got the his and her shifter. This thing is wild. Check it out. You have your regular low and then drive, neutral, reverse, park. But if you really want to get the groceries, you slam it over here. First, second, third, neutral. You know, for the alleged street racing. These cars were, and still are, very, very sought after. Character, the looks, styling. Ooh. Tire pressure gauge, that's a front pocket find. Okay, now the best part, the hood-mounted tachometer. This one is busted out and the needle snapped off at $4,000. We should see if we can get that working if it runs. Okay, now, most importantly, we have an engine in here with chrome bits. It's already got headers, Edelbroken intake, and fuel make it happen there. It's got big old garden hose, lightning hoses on here. Someone improperly spray painted the block. Buick green. There's 40,000 gallons of room temperature vulcanization cream coming off of it. But it's complete. And I was noticing the Street Machine Nationals car show. It's been there a couple times, so I think someone really snazzed this up for a car show back in the day, which would make sense. But the big question is it actually going to run again and drive? So I think we're going to start with basics. I'm just going to throw in a new lightning cube here. Stay put. Nailed it. Okay. New battery. And this one here. Let's try the key. Oh, we got some aviators. How'd I miss this? Now we're ready. Nothing happened. No wipers. No lights. Uh-oh. So, here's where we're at. If we're super lucky, the starter's just bad. If we're even luckier, the engine's locked up. Because I can hear the Bendix hitting the flex plate, but it's not rotating the motor. And now we have nothing. So, I got an idea. Listen, I'm gonna need some help with this thing. What I'm gonna do is throw this on a trailer, drag it up the road to my brother's house, surprise him, slam this in his garage, and convince him that he needs to help me getting this GTO going. Sean's gonna be really pleased about this one. He's got a 2-car garage in a really nice neighborhood, so we're gonna class it down with the old fuzzy GTO. Well, we made it into town to my brother Sean's house. He was body working a square body here trying to finish this up, but I convinced him it's more important to push this outside so we can work on the GTO.
I thought you just said it just needed a battery or something.
Well, I mean, it does, but also, you know,
Everything else?
tires and brakes, probably a motor, and interior would be cool and clean it up a little bit. You got a few minutes?
Yeah, sure, we're here.
Great. Well, if I could borrow some wind, we'll get some air in the tires, roll this thing off. Sean's got everything we need back here, including a mini fridge that I'm sure is stocked.
Yes.
Great. All right, let's dig in. We're going to try the air shocks. Ready? No, we got a blow line. Try the wheel. Is this going to roll and crush me? Going on. That's a loud compressor. Thought you were going to put wind in that tire.
Yeah, it's already lost all of it.
Does that help when I do that?
I think we lost all wind holding capability.
Yeah. You're doing good, Sean. Yeah. Now we'll just use the jack and...
Yeah.
If you pull the jack, I'll push with my rumpus. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. 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 That looks good there. There's a ton of water in the oil.
It looks normal.
It's 2 quarts overfull with water. We've got a boat anchor 400. Okay, so common sense got a hold of me, and we're going to go ahead and try to rotate the engine with the wrench first, being that it's full of water, and the starter was clicking but not turning. Could be a coincidence, but anyway, I'm going to rotate it by hand, hopefully, make sure that we don't have any issues. And that, my friends, is a stuck motor. So the starter's good. That's the good news. Yeah, I got a cheater pipe. Oh,
it moved.
Oh, it sounds so bad.
What was that?
Acorn just hit me in the face. Don't worry about it. You know what? We should juice it. Should we maybe vacuum the mouse poo off of the...
Before we open all the holes up in the motor?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Oh, I just really...
Caught some? Brand new hood, huh?
That's fine. Okay, so we're actually going to pull the sparkulators out and try to put some sort of juice into the cylinders and let it soak for a while. Because all I'm doing as I'm rotating the engine is probably just completely gacking the cylinder walls. And it could be full of water when we pull these out. Okay, now while that's soaking, what do we do? Well, one cylinder came up, our piston. The crank is cranking to some sort of connecting rod. Oh, the upper ball joint is broken. Great. That's a really fun job. Sean has got me anchored so I don't slide on the floor anymore.
Cylinder 2 is pumping.
There it's going.
Oh, I can hear compression now even.
Well, should we try to key now? Here we go!
It's good.
Something's arcing. Wiggle the cables. Yeah, that's what it is.
This cable appears to arcing.
Which one?
Negative. Jeez, I got shocked. Don't stop doing that now.
Yeah! Okay. Sounds like a Mopar starter. You know, a dying dolphin. We need to crawl under this thing and rebuild the starter, and by that I mean hit it with a hammer. Sean Mean Wilson is taking off the tires, wheels, and banging his tools on the floor so we can feel like we did something today. This guy's over here using air. Now get that out of that socket. I've been doing this for an hour.
Nope. Ah! Well, now I just broke that.
That was original, dude. Why is everything stuck on this? This is unbelievable. I'm about to flip this car over.
Oh, brake fluid in my pee. Never had to use an impact on a... Oh yeah, good sign right away. 100% water. Oh. Wait. Gasoline and water. And now Folgers. And that looks like pigeon poop. Now it's looks like ham gravy with lumps. Yeah, this is not good, gentlemen. Hey, have me some brake clean, would you? See, what is that? Getting some really weird, chunky stuff out. Reminding me of the red dually. Remember that thing? We had mouse houses in there. I think we figured out the random oil pressure issue we were having. Well, we just drained the oil and confirmed that it was, in fact, a plugged pickup screen. I've never seen this before, and I've been doing this decades. Mouse house and probably several Mises came out of the drain plug hole into the pan. So without question, mice actually blew up our engine.
Oh, dang. That's where they were at. It looks kind of like a dead raccoon in there. The crank's not wiped out, though. Oh, that's gross how you touched it.
It's not looking good. So I'm going to leave the drain open. Sean's going to pour a gallon of oil on the top, and we're going to let it run to the bottom and try to flush some of this stuff out. There it comes. Yeah, I think that's doing the trick. Gross.
Some good stuff coming out of the filter, too.
Oh my gosh, this poor car. Do you think squirrels listen to Megadeth?
I don't think that they do.
Ready? Perfect. So Sean installed a spark checker bulb flasher thing over there. If it flashes, we have spark. If it doesn't, then we don't. And, because we never even pulled the cap off, because we're lazy. And I'm filling the carburetor up with transmission fluid. No, it's actually kind of got some gas in it. And if all goes well, we're going to hit the key and hear this thing fire off for the first time in many, many, many years, and hopefully not knock like a cabin screen door. Right?
Right.
All right, here we go. Bring the thunders! It's dead again. Did we lose our ground?
Yeah, let's get shocked again, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Try the SAT cable. What just happened?
I don't know.
I think that starter's gone.
Quality parts you get these days, huh?
I just can't have nothing nice. I'm so tired of laying in this brake fluid puddle. This is my life now. Oh, I'm smelling it. It smells like burnt electronics. Why? Was the engine that tight that it just cooked it? It's got 12 volts. So the starter's bad.
Why is everything junk anymore, huh?
Whoa. Let's go get hibachi. Think about it. We're at Sean's place, Western South Dakota, working on the 1970 Pontiac GT Oh No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Kind of feeling down this morning. We didn't get a lot done yesterday. But then, Sean, I realized this thing was locked up yesterday sitting in grass. It has moved, and the wheels are off.
A lot of progress.
Yeah. So we're on our third starter. I think we try to get this thing rotating today on its own. So you might be wondering, Derek, why are you pulling the radiator out while he's putting a starter in? That seems weird. Well, I'm trying to be proactive here because there's several things in the pot of mixing. First of all, Pontiacs are known for having timing chain issues. The pulleys themselves
with age, not necessarily miles, start to crack and break, or the teeth just completely wear off, and it throws your engine out of time essentially, and it won't run. 99% of the Pontiacs around this era that I've had have needed the timing chain. We'd be extremely lucky if that wasn't the case. So we got to start thinking about that. I also noticed this timing cover is already broken. We've got a water pump, questionable installation there. So I have a feeling if the engine does run, I'm going to be in the front of it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take this old radiator out, which is empty, and I can see it's full of scales and crusts and everything else. So trying to hit a rock with two birds, or whatever. We vacuumed this for 40 minutes yesterday, and there's still a pile of poo 6 feet high right there.
Sounds like the walnut storage area.
Found the kitchen. This must be the baking powder hose. Well, Sean got a starter in, I got a fan off. Our powers combined.
We made things less but better?
Yes. So let's see if the new starter will actually turn this motor over. Sean tried it by hand. It seems to be spinning, so we might have just got a really terrible starter out of the box. Battery's hot. Here we go. Absolutely nothing. Jiggle the ground. If not, it's the 10 gauge wire that runs the ignition. You can do it.
What is happening? What just happened?
Well, the motor runs.
It runs. There's knocking.
But don't worry about that. How did you arc the starter wires arc?
I didn't do anything. I literally just pushed that on there.
That was weird.
I don't know. You can pull the starter out, I guess.
It's like auto start. Just boom! Turns the starter, ignition, everything on right at the same time. I guess the key must be forward, huh?
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully the knocking goes away. The bearing could resurface it itself. You know?
Yeah, this happens all the time.
Just a header leak, yeah. Yes! We're not rebuilding it. It's got a small exhaust leak over here. It barely smokes.
Oh, let's air this thing out for a minute, huh?
What, the garage?
No.
Are you that sensitive to smoke?
Yes.
Pontiac woes. So hidden underneath all of this garbly gook is this timing chain set. These are notorious for water pumps failing. There's a backing plate behind the water pump. Those rot out conveniently. There's also an O-ring that gets pressed between the timing cover case and the intake. That always fails. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Wow. The entire front of this block needs to be disassembled. Just coughs dirt. Before I pulled everything off, I made sure we're at a timing mark here. We have to remove the crankshaft pulley, the damper cover, the water pump, the charging whirler, get the power steering out of the way. I'm going to try to pull the fuel pump with the cover because I'm lazy. So I think it's stuck. Good Lord. By golly. Finally got it. This chain, look at this slop. Terrible. Well, we'll get it fixed up. Wow. Okay, dot to dot. Much better.
Well, Derek's working on the motor. I figured I will vacuum and clean out this interior and rip out this moldy carpet.
I've got parts.
Honeysuckle, fuel pumps on.
Well, you see, we got some ankle vents down here, so instead of doing the right thing and welding metal in there, we're just going to self-tap some old plates in there now.
That is the right thing. We need the oh no, oh no music.
So what we got here is big stretch caulking for house remodels and stuff. It's flexible, so it'll work really well on the car. See them laying it in like a bead?
Well, the guy has successfully installed new timing gears, timing chain, timing cover, water pump, and fuel pump in the rig, although we don't know if there's anything in the tank. Haven't even checked. Now I'm going to take the intake off, which means I'm taking the ignition off and the carburetor and all the linkages and doodads and whatnots and wires and hoses, because we're going to do some Rust-Oleum rings. You know, the old Craigslist rebuild. Lost receipts. Could be at my mom's, I'm not sure. We're going to paint this thing up, make it look new, via spray can. Now, it's a little bit tricky for us Pontiac fellers and fellettes, because it's hard to find the right color anymore. And as you can see, this guy used a Buick kind of turquoise, which is common because it's hard to find. This one here looks pretty good. It's an SP403. It's a titanium silver blue, and it's closer-ish to the original color, and that's what we're going to hit it with. It's going to take many light coats. The passenger seat looks, whew, man. Time for an intake on the Pontiac here. Gonna use a performance dual plane. Yes, there was one on it, but it was super cruddy. I actually decided to paint this, and I know that's weird. A lot of people buy these not only for the performance, but the look. But I don't know, I kind of like the color we're going with, and maybe kind of look like a stock intake. Oh, jeez. Paint fumes are getting to a guy. Woo! Well, we're fixing to get to a stopping point today, I think. Sean is killing it on the interior. I unfortunately have to let this thing dry before I can start doing any other assembly. And then tomorrow we're going to be hearing this thing run again, I guess.
Burnouts.
Okay, that's a little aggressive, but we'll try. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, we're back at Sean's garage this morning working on the 70 GTO. Paint is dry. I'm ready to finish assembly on this engine. I've got a different intake, different carbontator. We're going to update the sparkulator hoses. Those are all chewed up and whatever. New sparkulators, get some belts on this thing. I am going to upgrade the radiator as well and move it to digital fans. I've got quite a bit of work to do up here. Where are you going to start?
Well, I think I'll start on the gas tank. So.
Okay. So new tanks, we're not sucking up a bunch of rust and debris into the new fuel system up here.
That's the plan.
That would make sense. Our goal is to really cruise this thing around some different areas of the Black Hills, so we don't want to be changing out filters and beating on the fuel tank and all that. So we're going to divide and hopefully conquer, most
Yes.
likely fail. So.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So instead of trying to get this old Edelbrock fixed up and, looking good, I'm going to go ahead and swap it out with the Brawler 650 with mechanical secondaries and digital choke. That should go right on this thing. A little bit of adjustment, make a big improvement. Updating the cooling system on the GTO. We're going to go with cold case again. These guys make drop-in systems for pretty much anything out there. And what's great about that is we don't have to modify the radiator support or any of that stuff. And it comes with 2 digital fans, which Freiberger has taught me don't put your fingers in. And also the relay and everything that we need to wire it up. So I'll drop it in, do the wiring, clip in the hoses, done.
Derek, I might need a hand. You're just gonna break it? Okay. Whammo.
We're fixing to head to lunch, but first, I want to fire this up again and just see how it's running, what's a new ignition and intake and fuel make it happener and everything that we've done. And so we'll give it a shot here. Go ahead. That planking is on this side. It's definitely a lifter. Not sure if it's stuck or we're not getting oil all the way to the top end. Okay, time for lunch. Runs terrible. Well, the guy threw some Earl into the top side. Meanwhile, Sean's got the Kragers on, and man, they look great. Really changed the look of the car. They're similar to the Pontiac Rallies, but I think the chrome is doing something here. I don't know if it's the bass boat paint or something.
It's definitely the paint.
Yeah. So, well, it runs, theoretically should drive. It's time to find out. It hasn't moved under its own power in over a decade. We're going to try to land in Deadwood, South Dakota. It's a historic town. It was born in 1876, the big old gold rush and everything up there. And if you're familiar with names like Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane, that's their turf. We're going to go check that stuff out and have some fun. GT. Oh, yeah.
No brakes. You're not gonna be able to drive this.
Captain's log?
I mean, like, that's the worst brakes I've ever felt in my life.
Have you seen the show?
We can't go through the hills like that, dude. We're gonna die. You try it.
Watch out.
Never mind. Everything's fine.
The skid.
Okay. Operator error.
I think you're just used to real brakes.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
These are GTO no brakes. All right, let's scrub this bass boat up. Okay, second shower of the morning. about that lifter knocking.
I'm not.
Okay. Ready, Sean?
I'm ready. I'm born ready.
We have a 100-mile route planned today, and we should hopefully end up in Deadwood, South Dakota. It's going to be a lot of fun. See how far we make it.
It shifts hard.
It's got a shift kit for sure. Oh yeah. That steers. Shift. Jesus. Never had a car in the show chirp them in second. That is violent.
It is.
Just popped my back. Do we have third gear? That's the question.
Could make for a long day if we don't.
We don't have third gear. Free revving. So that's 100 miles at 40 miles an hour. Guess we can get to know each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, it drives straight. It handles okay.
No horn though.
Yeah, no horn. Runs. Wish that lifter would stop doing that. Temperature light just came on. It's pretty good.
Me and Derek went to school to your left, middle school.
That's where I almost hit Wheelman Willie.
Oh.
Turning left right there. We really don't have third gear. Says we're doing 70. Second. Well, now we know why it was parked. I wonder, should we check the transmission fluid? So we pulled over really quick. We don't have third gear, and I just wanted to check the shift machine. And sure enough, we're a couple quarts low, so we're going to try to throw some more sauce in there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can grab third. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, slow day. Boom, third gear clutches. Come on, third gear. Come on! Come on, third gear! Give it all you got! There, whoa, it shifted. Let's keep rolling. We got third. Really had to just give her. Wonder if we just floor it again, we'll get third. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better.
She wants to run.
Yeah, wants to be driven like a GTO. Why you light-footing me?
You know, I built all those guardrail here, Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's called a tri-beam.
This is probably the first car I don't feel grossed out in.
Yeah.
There was so much mold on these door cards and stuff, I thought they were shot. That magic scrubby whirler you had,
She did the work.
that was the jam. Oh, we forgot to fix the ball joint. That's completely separated and almost ready to fall out. See how the tires angle around the corner? Woo! I also like the power steering clipping in and out. It's a really neat feeling. Car's kind of lucky, you think about it. It gets parked in Indiana, in some backyard for a decade and a half, and it wakes up in the Black Hills. Gets a bunch of new parts, and we just jam it straight, no test, just jam it straight into the Black Hills and get the blast through here.
No test, no ball joints,
No brakes.
no brakes.
No, it's a lot of fun though, and I'm just glad that this thing is roadworthy once again, and someone's really going to get to enjoy this vehicle. You said it best yesterday, it really is a good platform for someone to
It is.
drive it, work on it, fix it up over time.
Yep.
It's not perfect, but it's solid.
It's a solid builder, that's for sure. fishing down here. So I've been told.
Probably bass by the looks of it. Oh, he's trolling.
It is like one of the most pretty lakes you can think of.
I caught a catfish 8 feet long out of there.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Oh, it's everything. Sorry about your neck.
Woo! The Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane are buried in that Mount Moriah Cemetery, which I think we're going to, aren't we?
Yes. Imagine these streets in winter, 7 feet of snow. How did they get through here with horses back in the day? Had to really suck. The GTO has made it to Mount Moriah here in Deadwood, South Dakota. This thing's actually really good, I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Transmission's a little wonky, but it steers, it drives, it's comfortable, it looks great. It kind of has power. We found this thing in a backyard, it had been sitting there for over a decade, and we knew the thing just had to be saved. It's the iconic GTO. We did timing chain, timing cover, water pump. Oh, Suzuki Samurai, dude. Ours sounds exactly the same. All right, ready? We did a timing chain and gear set, timing cover, water pump, basically all the hoses, doodads, whatnot, 4-barrel intake, threw a 650 mechanical secondary on there, tuned up the ignition, didn't touch the transmission or the brakes, really. What'd you do back here with the...
Did a fuel tank, and I put new air lines in for the air shocks, and we did a new brakes for the back.
Tires, wheels, cleaned it up a little bit. Sean did an amazing job on the interior. And for a little of nothing, this is a family cruiser right here, I gotta be honest. It's a very comfortable car. It's the scenic way to turn around, I guess. I think this is the first roadworthy car, Sean, that I don't gag driving the thing.
No, it's actually really clean in there now.
I'm gonna give it the official going to town stamp. But we've got some more cruising to do. We should head down the hill, go drag down Deadwood, have some fun, and then maybe head down to Sturgis. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right,
Fine.
let's do it. Pretty awesome drive today, huh? Yeah, there's the old gold mine, 1906. They converted it into a ballroom and hotel.
So the roads are brick. It's pretty cool, huh?
There's Saloon 10. Wild Bill Hickok caught one right in the old back with the dead man's hand. This is probably one of the last casino towns that actually used coins. They phased that out, 10 years ago, probably?
Yeah.
But that was fun. You throw a quarter in. You won $10, but it sounded like you won $1 million because it was like... Tick, 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 tick. Sean and I took the Indiana GTO. It's been sitting off the road for about 13 years, thrashed on it in just a couple days. Got her back roadworthy again, cruised the Black Hills, got to see a bunch of sights, hung out in Deadwood for a little bit, and eventually ended up right where we started here at Zweifel Motors, pulled it out of the grass up there on the hill. It was an awesome day. That's going to do it for this episode of Roadworthy Rescues. We saved this classic car, but stay tuned. There's plenty more to come. On this episode of Roadworthy Rescues, we take on refurbishing a big tractor.
I never believed in fate before, but then you walked through that open door. One smile and the world stood still, like time bent just to match our will. You didn't say much, didn't have to try, but your eyes told every reason why. Now every breath, every step I take feels like a promise I can't fake. Heaven knows what you mean to me. You're the light in everything I see. If there's a plan written in the skies, it starts and ends with you and I. Through every storm, through highs and lows, wherever you are, my heart goes. It's more than love, it's what life chose, and only heaven knows. I've loved and lost, I felt the fall, but nothing's ever felt like this at all. You're the calm when my thoughts run wild. You're the laugh that brings back the child. You make me wanna be brand new, like every version leads to you. If soulmates are more than just a name, then I swear we're made the same. Heaven knows what you mean to me. You're the song in every melody. If there's a reason stars align, it's just to bring your heart to mine. No need to ask, no need to show. It's written deep, it's written slow. A love like this, the angels know. It's true, 'cause heaven knows. And if we ever drift apart, I'd find you in the dark. Across lifetimes, through every time, I'd still choose you every time. Heaven knows, and so do I. This love was born to never die. In this life or the next, I'll stay right beside you all the way. So if you ask, just trust the glow. It's not a guess, it's how love grows. I don't need proof, I don't need shows. It's deep inside, heaven knows. Yeah, only heaven knows. But my heart always knew too.
Something a little different this week on Roadworthy Rescues. How about a big row crop tractor? This 1978 International 1086. And I've got to drive it over 50 miles back home on the highway. That's great. First time I'm seeing it, let's walk around it, see what it's going to take to get fired up, and start getting some miles down. So the 86 Series International is probably the most iconic international tractor ever made. If you say, draw me a tractor, bam, here it is. This is a 1086 and it was followed by the 1486 and so forth. This makes 146 horsepower out of a 6-cylinder diesel. It's got an 8-speed transmission back there as well. These were made from 76 to 81. This one's a 78. You can tell because of the way that it is, basically. This one doesn't currently have duals. You can run duals on them. But this was your big farm tractor back in the day. You disc, cultivate, seed, hay, whatever. And I plan to pull a big baler with this thing for hay season. The engine looks like it's had some filters on it. Maybe the injector pump has been messed with. We could walk over to the other side, take a peek at it. And then I guess just jump in the cab and see if this thing fires up. No, I'm sure it'll have dead batteries or something. I'll meet you over there. Oh, she's straight piped. That's the way I like them. Oh, look at this. Okay. So we've got a friend along for the ride today. That seems fine. These filters not so fresh. This one's probably 97,000 years old. It's had a charging whirler at some point, but otherwise we've got a lot of a ridge in here. You can see the IH casting on there. I really don't know how many hours this has. We'll try to figure that out though as we continue to look along. Surprised that it has doors on it. Normally the first thing normally the first thing you do on these is take the doors off. That one's locked, security purposes. These are normally mangled off. We still have a step. That's pretty cool. Rear tires are super weather checked. This thing is raw tin. It does have the dually hub though, so that's great. Let's go around back here and check out the business end. Got the business end of the 1086 back here. Big, beefy, fully adjustable 3-point here. Adjustable drawbar on this, side to side, in and out. And it's got a dual PTO. You've got your 540 PTO and your 1000 PTO there as well. And all the hydraulics and everything else here. You can carry up to, I think, 80 gallons on these. There's a primary and some had an auxiliary tank as well. And you're going to need that because these are not fuel efficient. If memory serves me correctly, that is correct. Other than that, it's just big red truck. If it ain't red, leave it in the shed, okay? Let's climb in this thing. We got some webs to move. Web deleter 400 here. Yeah, ooh. Pretty sure that was a cockroach. Oh, it's a massive spider, actually. The seat says low hours. Also, I noticed the shifter isn't snapped off. Normally these break right here because you just have to slam these in the gears. All right. Oh. Yep, very uncomfortable. Okay, our torque amplifier is gone. That didn't do much torque amplification at all. I love these consoles. It was kind of a precursor to what was going to come in the 80s. We got our ether, headlights, ignition, start button, all your basic stuff. Here you've got park, and you've got your high and low range basically in reverse. And then you've got your gear selector, first through fourth over here. And then you've got your hydraulics over on this side over here. This did have, the ACs, but it's been slightly modified ceiling-wise. I'm going to guess that doesn't work. Go ahead and open these up. So now as a tyke, this is where you'd sit. There or here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and see if this thing fires up. We're going to assume it runs. So I'm going to bump it off here. Park. Ah, look at that. Nice. Sounds pretty good. All right, let me crawl it out of the shed. Start getting some miles down. The reason I'm roading this is like a 13,000-pound tractor. I don't have a trailer that's what's bent in half, basically, so we're roading it. Shifter handle came off. Okay, see you guys. Well, this is going to be all of today. Unfortunately, the very first thing I have to do is point this straight down a very steep grade. Speaking of which, I should probably check the brakes. They seem to work, and now they're kind of stuck. There we go. So I'm going to choose a gear that I can brake with as well. Steering assist works. Everything is extremely loose and falling off. Hours say 1,479, so it's either 11,000 or 21,000. Maybe 31,000. I don't know. This thing is hammered. It's the cheapest 1086 I could find within 100 miles. One of the reasons I wanted a 1086 as well is I do want to run duals on this because there's a lot of side hills in Tennessee. That'll be hay. And it's nice to have the stability. We're going 17 miles an hour. It ain't wide open. Reason being is these will start bouncing really bad and then get you bucking. And then the front tires are just dangling and it gets super sketchy, so. Plus I don't know if this overheats. Nothing. Thirsty, so might as well run in and get something. Boop, boop. Jeep looks small. So a guy just finished up dinner. We got the International 1086 back on the highway. We've got 31 miles back to Bicycle Garage. Just start making a list tonight of things that need repair, upgraded, updated. Tractor needs a little bit of help, but seems to be running great so far. And it's not getting hot, which is one of my biggest worries. So I guess 2 or 3 more hours of this and we'll be back, hopefully. Oh, some samples. You gotta go around people. I can't go any faster. Oh, speed limit 35. Well, let me slow her down with that. Nope. Ah, crap. This is freshly planted. I did not see that. Now I feel really bad. Check on the allergies. Woo! Shortcut through a neighborhood, I guess. Yeah, I know I look like it, but I'm not UPS. Hey, ladies, settle down. We made it. Over 50 miles on the road. We made it back to Bicycle Garage's Southern Tennessee, which is where we're going to be working on the 1086. It runs really, really good, but I still have a lot planned for this thing. That's going to have to wait until tomorrow, because right now I've got to jump on another tractor and hay for the rest of the night. So we'll see you in the morning. Yesterday, I rode this 1978 International 1086 over 50 miles to South Central Tennessee here, where we're going to be sprucing this thing up. Now, this 414 runs great, albeit noisy and leaky and smoky, but that's just normal, right? So for once, I don't think I got to do anything with the engine and transmission or anything else like that. So we're going to put the time and effort into the looks department. And I can tell you the interior in this thing is absolutely trashed after spending an entire day in the thing. The seat's gone. All the foam is gone. There's no accoutrements or anything remotely nice. Not that you have to have that in a tractor, but if it runs good, it should look good. We're going to start with paint, and it would take me weeks to hand sand all these old sun-faded decals and everything off this tractor, so we're bringing in our friends again, and they're going to blast this thing for us really quick. It's going to save us a ton of time, and we're actually going to be painting the exterior of this tractor, and I've even got decals. It's going to look cool. So one of the huge benefits about having this blasted over sanding it is also I don't have to tape off any of the hoses or rubber or plastic. They have a material made of glass that's abrasive enough to get all of this paint and rust and stuff off of the tractor, but it's not going to hurt anything else, and it just falls into the ground and goes away. Making 5x5 brown bales, and I'm using a newer E-Series John Deere tractor. Now, ironically, I have severe outdoor allergies, which, right, growing up on a farm and doing this stuff is not ideal. So this tractor was critical for me with the closed cab and the filter systems and everything that it has, which brings me to a point. There's a lot of pros and cons with new equipment versus old equipment. One of the biggest cons of newer equipment, any farm equipment, is the cost. It's tremendously expensive today, but it's very, very comfortable. You get air conditioning and fancy radio and lights and very accurate digital displays and gauges and things of that nature that can make farming and ranching a lot easier. But in this particular case, as you can probably hear right now, this thing is bogging trying to pull this bale up the hill, which is why some of that older equipment, you just can't beat it. That 1086 has literally twice the horsepower as this tractor, and that's why I need to hook it to this baler. Crawling around the hills of Tennessee, this tractor just is not cutting it. For that, I can use this for running the hay conditioner. It'll do just fine there, and that's when my allergies are worst. And then I can put the brute on and pull the baler up these hills here. Right now I'm just watching the bale monitor, trying to make sure we get a nice round bale. And we're getting close to ejecting one here in just a minute, actually. Guys have been out here blasting for the better part of a day, and it just goes to show you how much time that's actually saving. It would have taken me weeks to hand sand this thing to get ready for paint. Now, not only do we have Tennessee's cheapest 1086, but we're discovering I also own the rustiest 1086 maybe in the nation. The bottoms of the doors, the door latches, the roof, the top of the roof, anywhere where metal touches metal, that joint, there's no joint. So there's going to be a lot of spray foam and silicone and tape and I don't know. It's going to get weird, but it'll have color soon. The only way to close the door on a 1086 is to slam it as hard as you can. But after years and years and years of abuse, this whole latch mechanism was basically just hanging by a thread. So the door was flopping around. So I'm welding in this box again, getting some structure back into the cab, trying to weld through rust and bent up stuff. We're not going to do everything. We're going to do the basics. So even though this whole tractor, particularly the cab, is just a rod box, I couldn't live with the rust in the bottom of the door. So I'm going to town, putting patch panels in. You got to cut it out, putting in fresh metal in, grind it down, put just a skim of Bondo on it. I'm going to keep messing with that tonight. It's going to be a very long night, but I've got to get this done before we roll it into our blow-up paint booth thing. But soon, we'll have color on this thing. Back on the International 1086, I just finished up some body work on the doors here and the hood. No longer looks like Swiss cheese, which is great. I'm going to stop there. There's a tremendous amount of work that can be done. I've got to make the cab a little bit more water sealed, but we're going to call that good enough. Going to move on to the rear duals. If you ask any tractor owner, their favorite thing is switching tires and adding or removing duals. Said no one ever. It's very physically demanding and extremely dangerous, so I'm very excited to jump in. Now, we're going to be doing some tire swap-a-rooney here. We're going to take the inside off. This has got to go down and get replaced. It's chunked, it's weather-checked, it's not going to last. And we're going to put a dual on the outside for now so we can wheel this thing into our bouncy house paint booth thing. I don't know what's happening. We got bottle jacks and boards and pry bars galore. Let's see if we can get it done. Right now we're playing Jenga. We got some treated 4x4 posts, and I'm cutting blocks out of it. And we're going to stack blocks, I don't know, 1.5 feet high at least, then jam in a bottle jack. Try to not make it lean any direction. Bottle jack it to where we can get this tire hovering, and then try to slide this off without it toppling over. It's going to be a good day. So the reason I'm trying to take the hoop off of the hub and just take the tire and the hoop off instead of the whole wheel or rim assembly is, well, first of all, this dually hub would need to come off. Someone booger welded it. That would need to be ground down. This is the weird wedge and bolt style hub. You got to try to get this bolt out, which relaxes like a wedge that goes in here. And then you have to try to slide this off of the axle shaft. A tremendous amount of work. So instead, I'm going to try to maneuver this hoop off. We're going to temporarily mount a dual on it to move it around. And then when these get wrapped in the rubber, we have to reverse what was done. So this is actually a crew, not the hired farmhands. They're just manhandling it. They got the younger, lower Backuses, you know what I mean? Why not? Okay, let me jack it a little. There we go.
Oh, we're on.
Wow. It was too easy. Take it off. Let's do it again. Look, the duals are on, but the insides are gone. Who knew they had disc brakes? They're even drilled. Yeah, sorry about that one. Anyway, now we need to finish sanding the tractor. Yes, we are going to sand at least some of it. Not any of this stuff, but the hood panels and things like that. I got to get a couple panels off. You know, I at least want to get somewhat goodish, okayer paint on it. Just good enough to where we can run it into the tavern again. And looking out the window, it looks great in the parking lot. We got a bunch of rotten rust in here, and I need to fix this right, because we're in Tennessee, it rains a lot, just like today. We don't want moisture getting into the cab. Plan on doing something with the interior. I gotta patch the roof. So, I've talked the crew into helping because there's a lot of metal, so we're using the old international scaffolding system here. Should work fine. Safe. guy's finished what little body work he's going to do, or I should say want to do. Cab should be pretty sealed up, and boy, is that thing insulated now. It's really going to keep the heat in. Great. We're going to go ahead and roll this outside and try to drive it into the bouncy castle you see back there. Hopefully the thing fits and the exhaust pipe doesn't burn a hole in the ceiling, because then it would just... So there's 4 colors that comprise this whole tractor, basically. And I'm gonna stick to a traditional look, but I am gonna make a couple small changes. A, because that's just the way I want it, and B, I'm lazy, and it'll be easier. So hear me out. We're gonna do the red, international red. Everything you see is red. Red front wheel. The cab, however, traditionally the post is white, the roof is white, but right here on this door line, these are actually black. The frame of the door and the frame of the window is black. I'm not gonna do that though, because we'd have to come back and tape a third time. I'm just gonna run this line here. The cab will be white. We'll use the textured decal on the back and make sure that that's done correctly. One of the bigger changes you're either gonna love or hate is gonna be the duals. The hoop was a silver color and the hub was red. Instead of doing that, I'm actually gonna paint both wheels, the whole thing, the hoop and the hub, white. Kind of give me some different colors with the cab. And then of course you've got the radiator panel up here. This will be white here as well. So those are our main colors. We're gonna start with the white, get the cab done, get the wheels sprayed, let that dry, and then we'll come back and blast this red in, and that's when things are really gonna start changing. Should be fun. So for paint, the guy's keeping it simple, and we're keeping it cheap, of course. You know me. Keep the billfold closed. We're going to use the Krylon Farm and Implement paint, just a basic white. We've got the reducer for that, and we've got the catalyst, or basically a hardener. We're going to mix that 3 to 1 to half, and that's going to be our single stage enamel, essentially, our white color, and we'll have the same product for the red. But the cherry on top, or the chef's kiss, is I'm actually going to add in the Vice Grip Garage Wipe or Spray On Clear. With its activator, we're going to do a 75 to 25 mixture, so 75% enamel with 25% clear, and it's going to give it a really lustrous shine, and it should protect that color very, very well. So let me mix up some batches here. We're going to go in, we're going to use this El Cheapo, no brand name gun, lay down some color. What's the worst that can happen? It's gray right now, right? Laid on, it looks fantastic, although I have to admit I'm not as agile as Billy Goat anymore. I struggled there a minute, but we're waiting for this to dry. Unfortunately, 2 things are hindering us. One, I laid it on super thick, and the humidity is very, very high. It's actually raining right now, so it's hindering our dry time. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to tape the red tonight. We're going to have to let this dry overnight. Tomorrow morning, first thing, we're going to lay bright red international paint on this tractor. It's going to look awesome. See that? Following morning, getting ready to lay down some red paint on the International 1086. The white looks great. That's all taped off. I've painted a lot of tractors, nothing this big. It's going to be interesting and new. Going to crawl around underneath and do the rear end first, then get into the flat metal. Let's turn this thing red. The tractor is red. It looks fantastic. I can't wait for you guys to see this thing all unwrapped. And I've got decals for it and a full Western interior kit. You guys have got to see. It's going to be great. But I put this paint on really, really thick, let's be honest, especially towards the end. The guy was getting a little woozy. We're going to have to let this dry. It's probably going to take all day. So we'll see you, I don't know, see you in a while. We'll get back to work. It's our final day on the 78 International 1086, and what a big project this has been. But look, the paint is dry. It looks fantastic. And Adam, the Tint Master 9000, is here, adding 5% tint to the side windows and back windows of the cab, trying to keep this thing cool. Now, we have a tremendous amount of work. There's panels to go back on, stickers, exhaust, whole bunch of interior pieces, not to mention have to wrestle on the inside tires and put some front tires on. So I've asked the fine folks that help make this TV show to help. Yeah, the guys holding the camera and whatnot. So we're all going to tackle this thing, jump in, try to get this thing done. And hopefully by the end of the day, we'll be dragging around a baler with this thing. I think I see the problem. Might have forgot one bolt. Oh, now we know. The front tires just aren't gonna cut it. One's extremely bald and the other one is mismatched. So I'm gonna go ahead and bust these off and roll on some new rubber for the front here. Jack this up, take some measurements from the face of this hub to this wheel, and then we got to bring in the other one, which has two options for offset on that wheel, and I think we're going to have to put it on the closest to the outside lip to put the wheel more in to leave room for the dual. I'm really hoping I nail it the first time because these tires aren't exactly light nor easy to move. So I'm actually trying to use tape measures and protractors, and I might have to get a compass or something, but there needs to be precision. Gap in between the duals. Okay, I'll push, you lift. Okay. A little more rotation. There you go. And now, let's let the jack do the work. How are we looking? Good. This pipe ain't gonna cut it. Ha-ha! That. Hey, so we're actually going to tackle the interior on this because as you can see, it is absolutely thrashed. There's no telling if this is 11,000 hours or 21,000 hours, but it's had all of it. All of the seals are shot, they're broken, they're shattered. There's a bunch of foam that should go on the sides here. There's sound deadening and insulation that should be in the ceiling. There's a lot that's missing or just worn or in terrible shape. So I'm going to spend pretty much all day putting in new weather seals, door seals. I've talked to even the camera guys in the helping figure out the puzzle. We've got like 50 pieces laid out on the ground right now. We got to figure out where everything goes in here. But this interior, when we're done, is going to be, I'm going to say it, show quality. So this is the old command center. It's an old 6361-1A. This is a newer one. This is a DC-1A. They're similar-ish. I'm going to plug it in and hope that it works. I don't know if we have to change any wiring, but essentially it'll show you mile per hour, your engine RPM, and then your PTO speed, whether you choose 540, 1000, and then you can set your exhaust gas temperature alarm, and it'll also give you a coolant warning. So this just slides in the dash over here. It has a big pin connector. I'm going to hook this one up, turn the key on, and hopefully this lights up. I've already verified that we have power on this ribbon connector. So I don't know, we'll just cross our fingers here. Since the guy's going this far with the rig, I figured we might as well make all of the lights work. Yeah, that's right. I voluntarily started working on wiring, and that brought me up to the front here and put in this nice new upper grille assembly, but then quickly realized the bottom grille now doesn't match. A little bit of a rattle can rebuild brought that right back around. I'm an international harvester! Master 9000 did quick work of the 5% tint, so I went ahead and talked him into putting on stickers. It looks great. Once again, I talked the crew into helping. There's so many pieces in here. They just jumped in and started stuffing foam in all the crevasses in here. But wait until you see this interior done. It's not only going to look great, but it's actually going to seal the cab up really good and give us some sound deadening as well. What a transformation this cab has gone through. It looks incredible. It's going to be quieter. It looks great. And it's going to be much more sealed. Is far from perfect, but it still is one of the nicer 1086s I've ever seen and one of the nicer I've ever operated. It is pretty slick. Just rough enough around the edges where you're not afraid to use the thing. Get it in the field, get it dirty, use the thing. Runner wide open to the windshield, but what, 20 feet away. Used to be proud of it too. I wish my grandpa could see this thing. He operated his entire farm and ranch on 1086s for the most part. And we never understood why. They're not really the most comfortable. They're not the most easy shifting, but man, they have just an absolute aggressive classic look. And they're tough. The 414s are an incredible engine. I hope he's smiling down. That's pretty neat, Deke. That's pretty neat. Now we're gonna hook onto a baler, go drag that thing around and see how this does compared to that John Deere. You don't get the side to side either with the tractor, which is nice. And it rides really good. This seat still works, which is incredible. There we go. Bring her down. Yeah, see, this isn't even wheezing. Even empty in that John Deere, which is about 75, 80 horse, you'd have to downshift or run her wide out to try to keep 540 PTO. This doesn't even know we're pulling anything. Sorry, we don't have any actual hay to pick up. I had to scramble and get everything done before about a week of rain hit us. We've been fighting that all week. So I've got everything done. We had a really quick first cut this year. It was actually nice for me. Do a fast turn. Side hill again. Nice and stable. We've got a lot left. The 1086, in my opinion, is one of the most iconic tractors ever. Just look at this thing. It looks absolutely incredible, and I think this proves the point. You can have a powerful, comfortable, cool-looking tractor, and you don't have to break the bank and have a huge mortgage to get something new. This thing's gonna do it all. Now, we did have to do a lot of elbow grease. We put new paint on this, albeit just cheap Krylon implement paint with a little bit of Vice Grip Garage Clear, the decal kit, 5% tint of the windows, chrome stack. We put some filters in it, but the engine ran so good. We drove this over 50 miles on the road back here to Vice Grip Garage. One of the big things we did was new rubber. We fought new duals on this thing, inner and outer, and that interior kit, that Western kit, looks absolutely incredible. New seat, new dash decals. We pretty much did everything we could on the inside of this, and now it's comfortable, pulls the baler just perfectly fine. So this ended up being a really nice tractor for not a lot of money, but it's not nice enough a guy can actually use the thing, and that's exactly what I intend on doing. We're gonna put this thing to work. That's going to do it for this episode of Roadworthy Rescues, but stay tuned. There's plenty more to say.